everyone, it's Gem and Scrolls. It is January 12th, so it's the second part of my second week. And I figured I'd do a video to show you what I'm tackling next. So there's this issue here. This shelf is supposed to be puzzles. This is supposed to be crafty things. That was an empty shelf for Kiki and Anthony to put toys on. That is toys. These are all board games, dice. I think the dice are in there, and cards and small game things. And then that's all bubbles. But this shelf is like having issues. The floor is uneven, so I wanted to take it down. And then I have this shelf full of stuff. The bottom stuff we're keeping for the little Miss Ori, because Kiki doesn't play it anymore. And then I have more craft things, office supplies, or what's supposed to be office supplies. I have no idea. That's a coloring bin. And then the top shelf has a bunch of stuff. So over the next couple of days, this is what I'm tackling. We're going to put in a different shelf that they have upstairs. I'm going to tear everything out of that shelf upstairs, and I'll picture that after the video, because that's going to be the first thing I have to tackle. And I'm going to take everything off here and sort through it. Anything that doesn't have its pieces is going. And I hopefully put that shelf here, and then I can tackle this shelf. And yeah, I'm still trying to envision everything myself. So if I sound like I'm not sure what I'm doing, it's because I'm not. I'm tackling this bit by bit. So here we go. Let's get this done for the day. And of course, after starting this project, I realized that it's a really big undertaking, and I better hope that I can get it done while I don't have the Mr. home and I have this little regret. Because she gets into everything and has already made this a much more difficult job than it already is. But after sitting down to think about it, I decided I lied and I would tackle the shelf first. Forgot to take a before picture, but you saw it in the video. I cleared everything off and then realized there was a whole bunch of stuff underneath it. So I cleaned all that stuff up too. And what better place to put all the games than the place where everyone piles everything, to prevent everyone from piling everything there. So I put all of the games on the piano, and it looks nice and neat. I actually like it, and it'll make the games easier for me to monitor, so the children are putting them back properly. After clearing off the wooden shelf, I realized I wanted to put the black shelf over on this wall instead of the cubed shelves that are coming downstairs. So I cleared all that up, and of course made a bigger mess for myself. But hey, I went through everything that was on the black shelf, as well as everything that was on the wood shelf, and donated what I could. We got a giant pile of donation stuff going, but someone picked up Christmas stuff today, so I'm 3 boxes shorter than the 12 boxes out there. I don't even know how many boxes are actually out there. Anyway, left a mess on the floor that I had to clean up, which was kind of, not gonna lie, pushed off to the side because some of the things I didn't know where exactly they were going right away, and it was just easier to pile all of the toys all together and put them away as I went. I fixed it with a piece of wood. It's good now. I stole the piece of wood from this shelf. After fixing the leveling issue, I was able to start piling things back on this black shelf. And in the process of doing that, I could clear off a part of the gray shelf over here. By the end of the night, 2 of the shelves on the gray shelf were done. I was going to leave the toys on the bottom shelf, and the shelf above it is cleared out. And I even started tackling the organizing of the next 2 shelves. It was around this time that I needed to get supper done, and so this is what I was left with by the end of the night. And then I headed off to bed with the kids to tackle this the next day. For January 13th, I started tackling everything bright and early in the morning. I got the gray shelf finished first by cleaning everything up. I didn't take everything off the shelves, but I did clean each shelf individually and put things back on. As you can see, I was able to tackle this giant mess of a pile from the night before and get everything put away. The floor is looking lovely, and then I started on with my next task. Of course, no big project ever goes smoothly without any form of hiccup. This shelf I was planning on putting upstairs won't fit in the place that I want to put it. So I've contemplated taking out this silver shelf here and using the wooden shelf in its place, something I'll have to consider with the hubby in. Continuing on though, I went upstairs and I tackled this shelf. These are the cubes that I want to bring down, but it has all the bedding for the baby. And I wanted to put them on this set of cube shelves, but these items are things that the baby gets out of because she is currently in a big girl bed. She loves climbing out of her bed and getting into stuff, and that's why we're trying to baby-proof this room. So I cleared everything off of the small shelf and put it in a pile for my daughter to sort through, and we'll do that later in the day. I then was able to clear everything off of this shelf and put it onto the smaller shelf. It looks much better, really condensed. And I got rid of anything that needed to be donated in the process. And I brought the bigger shelf and the extra pieces downstairs and put them all together to form this for the Lego sets. I tackled this shelf next. I was able to pull everything off of it so I could pull the shelf out, and then cleaned the floor a bit, so sweeping and mopping as well as wiping down the walls. It looked much better. I had a little bit of help from my helper who helped me push additional items out of the way so that I could bring in the wooden shelf. I wiped and cleaned the wooden shelf before putting it in here, and then I even nailed it because even though it's more stable here, it still wobbled a bit, so I nailed it at the top, used a piece of string to anchor it all in, and then started filling the shelves with the items from the silver shelf. The things on the silver shelf were very cluttered, so I was really happy with the amount of space. And this is what the big table area looks like with the table cleaned, and then I took it down, wiped the floors, and swept, and I'll make that the dog area now. Then I pulled a bunch of stuff from my cupboards and put it on the shelf to fill it up and also to free up room for organizing. But there's still this to deal with. It's the landlord's and not ours. And I'm not really sure where it's going yet. It's really a waste of space because we have a filter in the fridge to use. And by starting all of these tiny little projects in the kitchen, I decided that I really wanted to tackle the bake table and somehow combine it with the island. And I got the idea that I could take down the wine bottle racks. You can see them here. I pulled the shelf off and put it off to the side, and I was able to flip the wine rack on the other side to make some space that I could put things down on the shelves instead. And by combining the two, this is what the island looks like now. It's January 14th now, and I decided to tackle the last part of my major project. This is Ginger. He likes to hide in different places. I found his new hiding place. Bright and early this morning, I washed and put the dog bed up into the area that I cleared last night. And then I went to my linen closet, which looks like this. Now, the little one loves to scurry up this shelf to try and jump over this gate to escape. So I knew I had to replace this shelf. And that's her room there that we can't actually lock her into because the door doesn't shut properly. To start, I cleared everything off of the shelf, and then I removed the shelf and cleared out the little tote with blankets and swept up. But there's a bunch of stuff left over for construction from the landlord here, so I put that in the way back and then put up the silver shelf, piled everything I was keeping onto that silver shelf. The comforters and the duvet did not fit, so they're off to the side. I put down a mat because there's some nails that kind of hurt the toes walking on it. And this is my donation pile. I was able to take out all the extra leftover things that I didn't really need, mismatched sheets and yada, and put them into donation for someone who needs it. And that's what I decided to tackle for today. It wasn't much, but considering the big haul that I've done over the last couple of days, I determined I needed a break with my little one. So that's it for my second week, guys. Thank you for hanging with me and putting up with this random cleaning challenge. That way I'm, less stressed when everything's said and done, and I'll be able to spend some quality time on my diamond art. Have a great day, and if you liked this video, do be sure to like and subscribe. Bye for now.